everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Dirty Laundry. Today I'm joined by Slysquid, our fearless leader. And today we're going to be talking about econ denial, specifically Reina Roja econ denial, which Chase, otherwise known as Slysquid, and I were discussing last night. We think is going to make a comeback given the amount of damage NBN and other factions is going to be able to do with very minimal amounts of credits. Denying corpse money is going to come back in favor instead of just being brutally efficient as we've been seeing in the last few months of the meta. So, without further ado, let's dive into how we would build Reina for the current meta with the expanded card pool that's grown since Anatomy of Anarchy was dominating the tournament scene. So, Chase, what do you think? Where do we start?
I mean, I always want to see a Reina deck start with 3 lampreys. That's just like peanut butter and jelly.
I hear it's a pretty good card. Alright, so we'll put in 3 lampreys. You know, we're going to be running HQ a couple of times, so making sure that they lose money when that happens is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so if we're running lampreys, do we care about them being purged away, or do we run clone chips, or do we just let them go?
I mean, like, clone chips are definitely good. We can always just put them in and see where we go from here, right? I mean, we were trying this earlier, and we ended up at a route that I don't both of us disagreed on. So why don't we go that route, and we'll see where we end up? Because, you know, I mean, we both like Davids for breakers. We both like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that could help with clone chips.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put some clone chip action in there. We'll start with 3 of them, because 3 is a pretty good number. I mean, when you want clone chips, you always want 3. You can't always fit 3.
If you want to see a clone chip, you put 3 in. Like, that's the rules.
That's the rules. I don't make the rules. Okay, so if we're running a 3 clone chip strategy, it reduces our ability to include things like more than 2 account siphons. In this deck, we could potentially include 2 account siphons max.
I like 2 account siphons.
Which wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world to just have 2, because if it's not our primary, we have a lot of other econ denial native to Reina because of her ice and other things.
Yes.
So we got 2 account siphons. That leaves us with 1 influence left.
I like Utopia shard just as like just that one influence. Yeah, it's just. I mean, lamprey already made. Okay.
Alright, so we've got the basis of a pretty good denial deck here. Where do we go from here? We've got, you know, the account siphons and the clone chips and the lampreys, which is, you know, the basics of just basically holding somebody on the ground, making it so that they can't play Netrunner. You know, which is what Anarch is really all about, which is why you and I love them so much. It's all about making it that other people can't play Netrunner. I feel like Reina is, like, the person for that, though. Like, Anatomy of Anarchy is, like, the most you don't have friends anymore, but you win all the time deck.
Yeah.
Like, so, alright, so let's go from here. I think we definitely need 3 copies of I've Had Worse in this deck.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a must-have. We'll also put in 3 copies of Deja Vu, because that card just really supports our strategy. How many programs are we going to run? I guess with Clone Chip, all things are possible, so we can run 3 copies of Inject.
Yeah, see, I really like injects, and I really like the ability to get them out. Like build your rig fast. With the clone chips, you can do that. You know, in my max deck, I don't use injects, but I use or clone chips, but I have Max's ability and retrieval runs, which is like kind of the same thing.
Right, but we don't, in the strategy that we're running, we're not going to have time for the retrieval runs. Plus, there's nothing that we're really going to need that's going to require it.
Yeah.
So I think we want 3 day jobs just because that card is great. Upcoming, upcoming best Netrunner mat that I was a prophet of like a year ago.
Yeah.
I was like, they will make a playmat of the day job art. They would be insane not to. I think we want to hacktivist meeting any denial deck. If you res that asset, I'm gonna make you pay for it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so let's talk about hardware. Do we want to just go the standard Vigil, or are we gonna go with some parasites and run Grimoire?
I mean, I have not done like the parasite route in a long time, so I mean, I know it's good. I just don't run it anymore. So
Let's go with Vigil.
I like Vigil.
I would like to test this deck with Vigil just because I don't think I've ever actually run a deck that uses it. But that's because if you use anything besides Grimoire for noise, it's like Grimoire or no console.
This
Like,
is this is a good like challenge for like the internet is getting to see like a good like this is like a harmony of two very like stuck in their ways deck builders. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you're better at it than I am. Like you're better at branching out, but me, I'm like a fucking. I'm like, nope, this works. I'm gonna fucking refine it and play it for 2 or 4 years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But that's the difference. I'm very ADD. I'm like, ooh, shiny new cards. Let me just go and build an incredibly bad deck concept around that. But
That's why
yeah.
I like building shells of decks and then having like kind of like I have 10 playable, workable cards, and then you kind of just mold it.
But you bring up a good point. Like my noise deck is basically immutable. I have such a hard time making changes to that deck now because I can't imagine anything making it better than it is.
I
And
know.
that's not hubris. It's just like 2 years of refinement.
And that's
Like
exactly right. I said the same thing today before we started recording about my Slysquid deck. I was like, this deck is just perfect. Like, it's exactly what I want it to be. So,
right. All right. So we got the two vigils. I don't think we need any other hardware. We're gonna just double down on account siphoning, but not dying.
yeah,
Right.
I like it.
Okay. So we need some more programs. I hear breaking ice is pretty important.
Breaking ice is important. Yes.
All right. So how are we doing that?
Ah, see, this is a challenge. I'm the AI guy.
I mean, no, we're running account siphons.
Yeah.
We
So
need we need AI.
AI is good.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just I think let's just start off with the eater and then the keyhole. I mean, it's just like
It works.
it works exactly.
Yeah. Now the real question is, do we do 2 or 3 keyholes? I've never understood what the balance is there because you don't super need it early. Like I think 2's the right number.
2 is the right number. 2 is always the right number.
All right. So we're at 30 cards currently. I think we need David's. I think David. See, do we even need to bother with David? If this deck does what it's supposed to do, they should never be rezzing ice big enough for David to matter, right?
Well, see, no, but then you're running the risk of getting like hosed by
Blue Sun.
wraparounds and
Blue
other
Sun.
dickhead. No, not Blue Sun. Blue Sun.
All right, so we'll put in two. We'll put in 2 Davids. I feel like we need at least 1 Mimic, and we need to have a Fractor on the board. Otherwise, we're gonna have a very sad time. So, 1 Mimic, 1 Corroder. I think, yeah, I think that looks good. 2 Keyhole, 2 Davids, 3 Lampreys, 1 Mimic, 3 Eater, 1 Corroder. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We've got 34 cards, which means we have 9 left to play with.
Trying to keep up with you. It's just you do this way too often. Just I got a sec. Chase Michael is slow at Netrunner DB.
Yeah,
I only have 31 cards. I don't know what I'm missing. How many events do you have? 13?
I have 16.
Okay, read them off.
2 accounts, I've been 3 Day Job, 3 Deja Vu, 2 Hacktivist Meeting, 3 I've Had Worse, 3 Inject.
Gotcha. I'm back in play.
Alright, so I think we need to move on to resources.
Yes.
I think actually, no, we're getting ahead of ourselves. If we're only running 2 account siphon, I think we need 2 vamp.
2 vamp. Where are we getting the money for 2 vamp?
Well, we're gonna have some resources.
Okay.
Well, we need
Oh
at
yeah,
least.
'cause you don't want to float tags. Okay, so we can make a lot of money off of resources.
Yeah. So actually, let's just do 1 vamp, and then we want 3 same old things. Let's just go ahead and put those in first because those are absolute must-haves. In anything where there's that blue card that costs 4 influence, it's pretty good, I hear.
What card did you
Um,
get? What card?
3 of same old thing.
Same old thing.
So let's look at some sweet, sweet resources. Um, I think we definitely want liberated accounts.
Liberated accounts is like my.
The way in the light. How many do we want?
We want 3.
Okay.
I want to stop you right here. I'm going to tell everybody about my secret tech with liberated accounts. Okay? Are you ready to have your mind blown? It's such a simple concept, and it really helps, especially if you want to start going tag me with your decks. Or, like this deck could theoretically go tag me. Liberated accounts. What you want to use it as a burst card when you have nothing to do. Okay, so that's the first thing. You don't just sit with it and just kind of tap it. It's like you want to run hard and fast all the time, and then say for instance they lock you out or they're not giving you a good target or whatever. That's when you burst up with liberated accounts. After you burst up with liberated accounts, you're left with 4 credits on it. This is ideal if you are tag me to keep in play in case of closed accounts. Because
But they're not going to want to trash it.
exactly, because if you're doing your job right and you're denying their econ, all they're going to do is try to like wipe your economy and kind of slow you down like you're trying to do with them. They would basically have to go broke getting the liberated accounts, but because you have cards like Account Siphon and Day Jobs, you can fly back up to 10 when if you really put the wrench in a corp and you're playing right and you're pressuring each one of their servers and you're pressuring everywhere, they're forced to spend money to keep you out. So that's
Right.
the main thing with liberated accounts. In case anybody wants to argue that there's like that big huge cost and they can wipe tags and everything like that, that's how you play that card.
Okay. So we have 4 cards left.
4 cards. Same old thing. Liberated accounts.
Do we need some more money?
We need hedge funds.
Oh
Or
right, hedge fund's probably pretty good. Or not hedge fund, because hedge fund is not a runner card.
No.
All right, so that leaves us with 1 card.
Wanton.
1 wanton destruction. Wanton
One
destruction.
destruction. Yeah.
Now, looking at this deck, our econ is inject, sure gamble, account siphon, day job, and liberated. This is not the style of play that I usually play. That's why I brought you on. Is that enough? Like, I'm not saying that in an accusing way, but is this enough?
I'm trying to look right now. I mean, so this play obviously hinges on like being able to land account siphons. That's one really big thing. I don't really count inject as a economy card, but the vigil is
Pretty good, I hear.
vigil's good because it helps you get into your economy earlier too, right? Lib. Yeah, no, I think it looks good.
Okay, so what are we gonna call this deck?
I don't. You're always way better at names than I am. I make
Uh,
everything squid related because I'm a narcissist.
Um, we'll call it Firelight Vigil because Reina means fire.
I thought Reina means queen.
Or Queen, I'm sorry. Yeah, what am I talking about? I don't know. Yeah, we'll just call it friendship over. That's what we call it.
Friendship over.
Uh,
No, we gotta smush our names together. Make like a name baby.
okay.
Like we
We'll
could be
call it.
like
We'll,
it could
we'll
be
call
like
it. We'll
Dan.
call it. We'll call it Code Squid. Code Squid's econ denial.
Yeah, Code Squid.
Yeah, Code Squid's econ
Or
denial.
SquidMarvelous.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. SquidMarvelous. All right, so SquidMarvelous econ denial. So thank you everybody for joining us on episode 3 of Dirty Laundry. Look forward for a video segment in the future, probably sometime next week, that I'm going to be starting up where I'm going to be playing the different decks from the Dirty Laundry segment, walking you through me probably yelling at the screen a lot as I lose and deciding what to cut. Thank you for joining us. You can find us on Facebook at ANR Black Hats, on Twitter as ANR Black Hats, and you can also find me at selfmodifyingcode.com. Say bye, Chase.
Bye, Chase.
All right. Bye, everyone.